This is a presentation to show how I was able to integrate technology into my lessons while teaching in my practicum experience. For my practicum, I was in a 5th grade classroom at East Meadows Elementary. This picture shows the classroom from the back of the classroom towards the front. You can see the Promethean board on the wall that I was able to use in a lot of my lessons. The classroom that's made up of 27 students. There are 15 girls and 12 boys. And the tables at the time were set up in groups of 4 or groups of 5. And this is a picture of the front of the classroom, just kind of to see what I would see as I was teaching and just the different way that it was arranged from the front. It's still in the tables 4 and 5 groups of 5. I was able to use technology in a majority of my lessons that I taught in the practicum. I think that there was one time when the Promethean board wasn't working that I wasn't able to use technology, but it was a struggle whenever I didn't use it. This picture shows me using the active slate, which is just so that I could walk around the room as I was teaching and still do the PowerPoint or write on the board as I was moving around the room so that I can use proximity as a management tool and so that I'm not stuck at the front of the room. My teacher is one of the only teachers in the school who has this active slate feature that for her to use, and I love it so much. It's such an awesome tool to have, just to be able to not have to stand at the front of the room to write or to move your PowerPoint and go over to your computer. It was just able to walk around the room and just click it on your little board and do it that way, and it was a lot easier to get things done and to just make sure that the class was engaged in the lesson. This is a picture of an interactive website that I used in a science lesson I was teaching. We were learning about animals and how they live in different environments based on different features that they have, and the students loved this website. I had several of them ask me for the website so that they could look at it at home, and that was really refreshing to me to realize that the efforts that I were making in finding these fun things for them to do and engaging things for them to do were really paying off, and that they enjoyed them as well, and it wasn't just me thinking that they were fun. I was able to use the Promethean board and PowerPoints as a way to just keep the students engaged and make sure that they were focused on the lesson. It helped them to have something to look at as I was talking about things, and then whenever I would ask questions, we would make lists and we would answer them on the board, and that allowed the students to become engaged in the lesson because I would have them write on the board sometimes. And I didn't only just use it in science. This is a picture of me writing about variations that different animals have in science, but I used it in math, and I would have students come up and work out the problems in math or take notes off of what I was writing on the board, and the students were really able to just see it and put it in their notes and then have that with them as they went on to their tests or quizzes to study off of. I was also able to use the Promethean board in literacy. This is a website that I found that had different descriptions of the characters that we were about to read about in our shared reading book. And so we just did an activity on the website, and we just looked over the different characters and talked about them and talked about similarities or differences that we have with them in our lives. And then we also had a PowerPoint to introduce the shared reading activity, and we did a little activity with it with the class, and the kids really liked this website. They thought it was funny to be able to visualize the people, and they referred back to it as we were reading the book throughout the time that I was in the practicum. Through this experience of just integrating technology in the classroom and trying to use it as much as possible, I learned that technology can really enhance lessons in good ways. It can get your students engaged and involved and just give them something to do instead of just talking or getting off task. So it can really keep them on task. Something that I would change about this experience is that I didn't have the students use like technology as much as I would like to. I would sometimes, have them put their picture in the document camera or come solve math problems, but I would like to get them more involved in the technology. I think that would also benefit them. I don't think that it could hinder their learning at all. And then one thing that I learned is that using the technology made the class easier to manage because they were so engaged and they were on task. And I really loved using technology, and I'm excited to use it more in my future classroom.